What's going on, everybody? Johnny here. Um, all right, guys. Well, if you watched my video yesterday, you guys know that we just read Revelation 14, and I was a little baffled. I was a little stumped. So what I did is I went back, I read it again, I prayed and read it again. Well, so from what I'm understanding, I did used to understand, I guess, didn't I? Don't really know how to explain it. It's kind of weird. Anyways, the way I'm looking at it. Okay, so what we're going into now is the seven last plagues. That's the wrath of God that we're getting into now. Okay, so we've gone through the time of tribulation. Okay, we've gone through the seals that is setting our world off into chaos. Okay, and then we got the trumpets, which is the tribulation. And now we're going into the bowls or the phials full of God's wrath. This is the great and terrible day of the Lord in a sense. Okay, so seals, not revelation, okay, or not tribulation. The seals is the groundwork, basically. The trumpets is the tribulation, and then the bowls are God's wrath, his judgments, basically. So the timelines we've gone through is preparation, tribulation, judgment. Okay, now we're about to enter the time of judgment, basically, that he's pouring out his wrath on the world, and he's judging the world basically at his time. Not the great white throne judgment, not the judgment in heaven that says whether we go to heaven or hell. I'm not talking about that judgment. I'm talking about his decision and what he's going to finalize to do with the earth. So, how I said at the very beginning of this series, how I think that God is going to let us all go through the tribulation and then rapture us before the great and terrible day of the Lord, before his judgments. That is basically what's going on here. That is what I said in the beginning, and it's what I'm reading here. Like I said, guys, it's been so long since I've read this. I was a kid, and that's why I wanted to come through and do it all with you so we can come together and understand it together better. So from what I am reading and I'm understanding, we've gone through the seven seals. That's the world going through its transition. Then the seven trumpets. That's the world going through its tribulation, its trials, and its testings. And now we're entering the seven vials, or the seven bowls of God's wrath. That's where he's going to pour out all his judgments on us. And he's going to reap the church. He's going to harvest the earth right before that. So if you believe there's a pre-tribulation rapture, that means he's going to call us out before we even go through the tribulation. That's fine. If you believe there's a mid-tribulation rapture, that halfway through the tribulation, he's going to call us out, and then the world's going to go through some more testing and trials, that's fine. If you go through the post-tribulation rapture, where we're all going to go through absolutely everything, and then at the very end of the world is when God goes ahead, calls us out, sends the devil to hell, and throws everybody in the lake of fire, and then it's all said and done then. That's fine. You guys can all believe whatever you want to believe. That is completely okay. I am not here to tell you can't, because if God's the one that gave us the freedom and the freedom and the choice, who am I to take any of that away? I'm nobody, okay? So that's what you want to believe. That's what you believe, okay? But what I am understanding and what I'm believing from what I've read through this, okay? So the seven seals, God is basically setting off the world, okay? Then the martyrs start to happen, and that's when we start to get killed off, okay? That's when, the slaying of the saints happens. Then he goes to the seven trumpets, and that's where the world starts dying off like crazy, okay? The world's just a third of this, third of that, third of this, third of that. Boom, 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 okay? Earthquakes are happening. A lot of stuff's going crazy. Then the 144,000 were sealed off. The 144,000 are standing here with the Lord, and the Lord harvests the earth. And then right after the Lord harvests the earth, the seven plagues. Now, how you understand this as what the tribulation is and what the tribulation isn't, I guess could kind of define whether or not it's post, mid, or pre-tribulation rapture. I don't really know. Like I said, I think the seven seals were the time of preparation, the seven trumpets was the time of testing, and the seven bowls is the time of wrath and judgment, okay? So, in my personal opinion, I think that it is post-trib, pre-judgment. I guess, I don't really know how to explain it. I can understand it better in my head, but I understand how I think better than other people do. So, yeah, I think that we're going to be slain in the name of the Lord, and then the 144,000 are going to preach the word, and they're going to be out here. They're going to be talking what God wants them to talk, and those who come to God from there are going to be raptured out, if that makes any sense. Okay, so if you believe in God now, you're dead. Okay, they're going to kill you. If you believe in God during the rapture, you'll be raptured out. Or during the tribulation, you'll be raptured out. And if you believe in God after the rapture, Well, I just don't know then. You know, I don't even know if you can be saved after that. Because after this one, it's God just pouring out his wrath. Okay? So, we'll find out together, guys. But I think how the world seems to understand it is, you know, you have the rapture, the tribulation, and then those who came out of the rapture will be the ones sitting under the throne. I think it's the other way around in a sense. That the saints will be slain first, and then the rapture will happen second. Kind of thing. That's what I personally think. But anyways, guys, enough with what I think and what I'm understanding. Let's go ahead and jump into Revelation 15, guys. It says, I saw in heaven another great and marvelous sign, 7 angels with 7 last plagues. Last because with them God's wrath is completed. See, it says it right there. God's wrath is completed. And I saw what looked like a sea of glass mixed with fire, and standing beside the sea, those who had been victorious. I'm sorry, guys.